What if buying one apartment can completely eliminate your taxes forever? Listen, everyone making serious money knows one thing. Legal tax avoidance is key to building and maintaining real wealth in 2025. But if you're making good money right now, you're probably getting fucked by taxes. The UK takes 45% plus, some places in Canada take 53%, Australia hits you with 47% in taxes, and that's just what's going on with taxes right now. Meanwhile, I haven't paid personal tax income in 3 years. Not because I'm doing anything shady, because I live in Dubai. 0% personal income tax, 0 capital gains tax, 0 crypto tax, and the craziest part, getting here has never been easier. What I'm about to show you is exactly what wealthy people have been doing quietly for years. They're not moving to Dubai, they're getting Dubai as their plan B. And real estate? That's the easiest way in. Why smart money does this? Before I get deep into this, I'll start with a quick example. I have clients making $500,000 a year in London, still living there, still running their businesses there, but they bought one apartment here because they understand something most people don't. Wealthy people always have options. They're not sitting around hoping their government stays reasonable on taxes. They're not crossing their fingers and that their country remains stable forever. They get their backup plan sorted while everything is still good. That's what this golden visa really is. It's your backup plan, your insurance policy, your road to real wealth. Let me explain. You buy one property in Dubai, 2 million dirhams. That's about $515 US dollars. That gets you a 10-year golden visa. Now there's also a shorter 2-year property visa if you buy from around 750,000 dirhams. So that's around $200,000. But here's the difference. The 2-year visa requires you to re-enter the UAE at least once every 6 months to keep it valid, or it will become null and void. The 10-year golden visa doesn't have the same restriction. You don't need to visit every 6 months. You don't have to move your whole life here just to keep it active. It's designed to give you flexibility. Live here if you want. Personally, I love it here. Or you can keep it as a plan B and only activate it when the time is right. Now, and this is important, if you want to actually claim UAE as your tax home, you need to meet the residency rules. Usually that means spending enough days here and filling for a UAE tax residency certificate. But the flexibility is built in. You don't need to uproot your life unless you want to. But when is the moment you want to activate it? The moment when your home country raises taxes to 60%? The moment you decide you want to retire early? The moment you just want more financial freedom? You come here, you establish your tax residency, and you're done with income tax forever. 0 personal income tax, 0 capital gains tax, 0 inheritance tax, but there's a 9% corporate tax if you set up a UAE company. But for property investors, it doesn't apply. Let me show you what it actually means in real money. If you're making $300,000 a year, and your country is taking 45% in taxes, they're asking around $135,000 every single year. In Dubai, you keep all $300,000. Year 1, you save $135,000. Year 2, another $135,000. By year 5, you saved $657,000 just on taxes. Let's say your property investment was $550,000. So by year 5, your tax savings alone have paid for your property and put an extra $125,000 in your pocket, and you still own the property. These properties don't just sit there either. Dubai real estate has often gone up to 5 to 50% a year in recent cycles. A good property can rent from 8 to 10% annually. So you're saving on taxes, making money on appreciation, collecting rental income, and you have a golden visa in the most stable countries on earth. This is what wealthy people have figured out years ago. They don't wait for problems, they get their options lined up first. And Dubai real estate is one of the easiest ways to get those options. But here's what most people don't know. There are actually several ways to get a golden visa, and some of them cost way less than $50,000. Multiple pathway properties is the best. Now, there are other ways to get the golden visa. You can invest in a business instead of a property. There's also something called a nomination route, where you basically pay fees instead of investing. But honestly, property is what I know, and it's what I do every single day. And it's the most straightforward path. Here's why. With property, you get something tangible. You can see it, you can touch it, you can rent it out, and you can sell it. But business investment, you're trusting someone else with your money, and with nomination, you're paying fees and getting nothing physical back. Property gives you the golden visa plus a real asset that's making money. But here's where most people mess this up. They think all Dubai properties are the same. They're not. I've seen people buy in areas where nothing rents, or buy from developers who never finish a project. Or they overpay because they didn't know the market. All this can be avoided if you find the right broker. If you want someone who's reliable, honest, and has strong market knowledge and is an active investor themselves, to give you a little context, I have my own properties here in Dubai, so I am confident in my recommendations. In fact, my personal apartment is based there, and I have my own investments in off-plan properties. I've sold over 200 million dirhams in Dubai real estate, and this year alone, I'm already at 40 million. I don't say this as a flex, but to explain that I live here and I breathe property. So, when I help someone buy property here, they're getting the golden visa, but they're also getting an asset that actually works. Let's take one of my clients, for example. She was looking for an investment property. I showed her a one-bedroom apartment in Dubai Marina. The purchase price was 2.1 million dirhams, making her immediately eligible for the gold visa. The rental price for this property was $32,657 US, giving her an impressive rental yield of 5.7%. On top of that, the property value increased to 2.35 million dirhams, giving a capital appreciation of 250,000 dirhams. That's equivalent to almost $70,000. So in 8 months' time, she gained 11.9% for a total return on her investment, plus 5% rental income. There's nowhere else in the world where you can see a return like that, but you need someone who can spot the best deals and opportunities. That's what happens when you buy the right property in the right area with the right developer. But there's even a smarter way to do this that not many people know about, something called off-plan investing, where you can get the golden visa for way less money up front. So let's talk about off-plan. Off-plans means buying a property that isn't built yet. Here's why this changes everything. Instead of paying $550,000 up front, you might put down $200,000 or $250,000. Then you pay the rest in installments over 2 to 3 years, but you get your golden visa immediately. Today you sign and make that first payment. I had a client from Canada last month, a tech entrepreneur. He bought into an off-plan project in Business Bay, worth just over 2 million dirhams, about 550,000 USD. He put down his 20% deposit and paid the 4% Dubai Land Department fee. Once the property was registered, we kicked off his golden visa process that takes roughly 2 to 3 months from start to finish. By the end, he has his 10-year golden visa locked in long before the building itself was even finished. Sounds good, right? But it's not as simple as signing the dotted lines and laughing your way to the bank. You need to know what you're doing. So here's my number 1 top tip for off-plan investing. Only buy from developers with a track record. Imar, Shoba, Ellington. These guys finish their projects on time. I've seen people get burned by unknown developers promising the world. The project gets delayed 2 years, sometimes never gets finished. Stick with proven names and work with a broker who has established connections within those property developers. When you do this right, an off-plan project can be incredibly profitable. Properties typically appreciate 15 to 20% by the time they're completed. So that $550,000 apartment, it could be $650,000 or even $700,000 when it's finished. You pay $230,000 up front, make installment payments totaling $550,000, but now you own something worth $700,000. That's $150,000 profit on top of getting your golden visa. Whether you go for an off-plan property or you buy something that's already built, you need to understand what you're actually getting into, the reality check. Let me be completely honest with you about what this actually looks like. But Dubai isn't cheap to live in. A decent apartment will cost you $3,000 to $4,000 a month in rent. If you're renting something separate from your investment property, dining out, entertainment, lifestyle costs, they all add up. But think about it in this way. If you're saving $100,000 a year in taxes, that $4,000 a month in rent becomes irrelevant. You're paying $48,000 a year in rent, but you're saving $100,000 in taxes. You're still $52,000 ahead. And here's the thing most people don't realize. You don't have to live here full time. That golden visa gives you the flexibility. You could spend 6 months here and 6 months somewhere else. 3 months here, 9 months traveling. The key is becoming a tax resident, which means making Dubai your main tax home on paper. Some of my clients spent maybe 3 months a year here, but they structured everything properly so they are Dubai tax resident. Others move here completely and love it. World-class infrastructure, virtually no crime, and incredible business opportunities. The weather is great 8 months of the year. The other 4 are pretty hot, but most people travel during the summer anyways. The point is, you have options. But whether you live here part-time or full-time, you need to do this properly. You can't just buy a property and assume you're tax-free. There are rules to the tax residency. There are ways to structure this correctly. There are ways to mess this up completely. That's why you need someone who's done this hundreds of times. Someone who knows the property market, the visa process, and the tax implications. Look, there's obviously a lot more to cover here, specifically properties to look at, payment structures, visa timelines, and how to actually establish a tax residency properly. But the main point is, getting a Dubai Golden Visa through real estate has never made it more straightforward. Whether you go with a completed property of $550,000 or an offline project where you pay less upfront, or even one of those other routes I mentioned, the options are there. The process works and wealthy people are doing this quietly every single day. The question is just whether you want to be one of them. If you want to see what's available right now, specific projects, payment plans, and the smartest areas to buy, just reach out, me and my team will walk you straight through it. Thank you for watching, guys. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel and like the video. See you guys in the next one.